O Cambly tá com um super mega presentão para esse mês de dezembro. Você pode ganhar 20 minutos de aula particular com o Cambly Fluency Pack. E o que é esse Cambly Fluency Pack? É um super guia com 9 módulos. Tem material de gramática, apostila de exercício, espaço para tirar dúvidas com os tutores nativos do Cambly e um guia para você se preparar para uma entrevista internacional e a aula particular de 20 minutos com o professor nativo do Cambly. Isso tudo você pode aproveitar com o meu código, né? Você vai botar lá Inglês Unicru 2021 e você vai ganhar esse pacote. Vale muito, muito, muito a pena. Então, gente, para quem ainda não conhece o Cambly, entra no cambly.com ou no aplicativo do Cambly e vá lá. Seja feliz!
Hello, hello, hey, sweet people. Welcome to another episode of Inglês no Rádio, the only English podcast that quite literally has no structure, no topic. Hey, Alexia, how are you doing?
We have structure.
No, I was just thinking, so 2 days ago, I believe, the day before yesterday, I listened to an interview with Jerry Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
You know who that is?
Of course.
All Brazilians know who Seinfeld is, right?
If they don't, please Google.
Okay. So Seinfeld was a very popular show in the 90s, I guess. And everyone said, including Jerry Seinfeld, that it's a show about nothing. Like, every episode, there's really no plot. Nothing happens, but it's a great show. Sometimes I think of Inglês no Rádio that way.
Yeah, because I think that we do it as natural as possible. So, yeah, there you go. I would love to be like Jerry Seinfeld. So,
yeah, and I would highly recommend this interview with Jerry Seinfeld. It is on the Tim Ferriss podcast. Alexia, put that in the show notes.
Okay, Felipe, remember to put on the show notes. Just one thing. Did you know that Jerry Seinfeld has a book now?
He has a lot of books, and he has a new one.
Yeah.
That's why he's appearing on a lot of podcasts. Yes, I know that. Of course I know that. Okay.
Speaking about podcasts, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are continuing our conversation about words that are really difficult for Brazilians to pronounce, or at least words that I personally have to correct on a daily basis. And today we are going to talk about social media, about platforms, about like things on the internet, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we did an episode about how to pronounce like basic social media stuff, maybe 500 episodes ago. So I think we need an update, and yeah, we have some new stuff here. So
Yeah.
I think it's fun to talk about.
I would start with the most basic one that we need to know how to say it is internet.
That's a great one. Okay. Can you say that word for me, Alexia?
Internet.
Okay. Internet. First, most Brazilians, not all of you, but many of you have the tendency to say internet.
Internet.
There is no chi at the end. So the last sound, internet.
Internet.
And if we are speaking normally, like in a fast conversation with my friends, I do not say, I'm going to browse the internet. I say, I'm going to get on the internet. Internet.
Vou entrar na internet. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to highlight is we do not say the first T. We do not say internet. We say internet.
Internet. Huh? Internet. What?
Okay, so imagine the word inner, like your inner soul.
Inner.
Internet.
Internet.
And then just add et at the end. Internet.
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 Yes.
Oh my God, I am entering my SONET. Internet.
You are entering your what?
SONET. Internet.
SOMAT.
SONET.
Kikis.
Internet. Your inner net.
Yeah.
Internet.
Exactly. Internet.
Internet.
We could have...
All my life was changed right now. Internet. Okay. I'm gonna go on the internet and find the best Airbnb for us. Internet.
Yes. And just to clarify, I am 100% positive that the last time we talked about social media, we did this exact same thing, which is a testament to the fact that repetition is important.
Internet.
Perfect. Perfect. You can always say internet. Sometimes I do when I'm speaking a little bit more slowly, or I really want to be clear or articulate something. But most of the time I say internet.
Internet.
That's wonderful. Great job, Emma.
Google, internet. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the big ones. The big social media giants that pretty much rule our lives. Where do you want to start?
Spotify.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spotify rule our lives, so...
What do you mean?
Inglês no rádio.
Spotify rules our
Rules.
lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think most Brazilians, I hear them say something like Spotify.
Spotify.
Yeah. So 2 things to think about here. First, the first vowel sound is ah, spa. Just like I'm going to the spa to get a massage.
Spa.
Spotify.
Spotify.
Excellent. Excellent. So on Spotify, you can listen to music, and you can also listen to podcast.
Yes. And it's kind of like a radio.
Okay, a lot of material here. First, on Spotify, with almost all platforms, when we're talking about the internet or the internet.
Eu já ia olhar. You said it.
Yeah, don't worry about it too much. In English, we change between pronunciations all of the time. Both pronunciations are correct.
Just to make our lives easier.
But we almost always use the preposition on. So we are on Facebook. We have videos on YouTube. Check out my profile on LinkedIn, on Instagram, etc. Secondly, you can listen to our podcast on Spotify. Listen to almost, I would say 80% of our students say, oh, I listen your podcast.
Me included.
Yes.
I always forget the two.
In that case, I would say myself included.
Myself included.
How would you say that in Portuguese?
Eu também.
Portuguese is so much easier. Eu também. Myself included, my dear. Okay, so we listen to things in English. In American English, we say podcast. So the first vowel sound, again, is the ah sound. Just like prato, chato, podcast.
Podcast.
I hear almost everyone say some version of podcast. Even our sweet Felipe still says podcast or something like that. In American English, we say pod. Perhaps in British English or other dialects, they say podcast or something. In America, we say podcast.
In the United States of America, podcast.
Yes. And we also say radio.
Radio show.
Yes. So we do not say rádio. We do not say rádio. We do not say radio or rádio. We say radio.
Radio.
Okay. Any questions about that?
No.
Okay, if we're talking about the word radio, I think it makes sense to talk about the word video.
Video.
This is another word that I just hear Brazilians almost just use Portuguese pronunciation and say vídeo. But in English, we say video.
Video.
So first we have a hard D sound, vid, and then we really exaggerate the O at the end. Video.
Video.
Okay, any questions about all of that, Alexia?
No, I'm fine. It's
Okay.
a lot.
That was a lot. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get very excited about these things.
So on YouTube, you post videos. On Spotify, you can post audios for your podcast.
Correct.
Okay.
That's another good word, audios. I always, my goodness, if you give me $1 every time a Brazilian says áudio.
Felipe, you and I.
You guys say that?
We used to, and then you were like, it's audio.
Yeah.
And now we say it correctly.
So imagine this A-U combination in English. Most of the time, these two sounds combine together and they produce the aw sound. So very similar to a sound that you have in Portuguese, like ó, olha só. Audio.
Audio.
Perfect. Video.
Video.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay. More questions, Alexia?
I don't have any.
Okay. I think this was a good start. I think we can probably do another episode on social media so I don't go too crazy today.
Yeah.
But for now, you can listen to our podcast on all podcast platforms.
Platforms.
Platforms. Yes, it is not plataform, platform.
Platform.
Excellent. So, wherever you get your podcasts, you can listen to Inglês no Rádio on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on
Deezer.
Google
Podcast.
I
iTunes.
I think Google Podcasts actually closed.
iTunes. I'm still announcing it. I don't know.
Yes.
Anywhere.
My favorite podcast app, I just want to give a quick shout out to Pocket Cast.
Pocket Cast.
We see the statistics of what platforms people listen to our podcast on. And most people listen to our podcast on Spotify. I think the second is iTunes or Apple. And I think it's like 0.1% listen on Pocket Cast. And I think it's just me and Felipe. But if you are a serious podcast listener, Pocket Cast is the best podcast player that exists, in my personal opinion, as a professional podcaster and as someone that listens to way too many podcasts.
True.
Okay, so put that in the show notes as well. Pocket Cast and Jerry Seinfeld interview. Keep listening to us on all these different platforms. We love you guys, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye! Muito obrigada por ter escutado mais um episódio aqui do Inglês de Necrorádio. É muito bom ter você juntinho assim de nós. Faz muito, muito carinho no nosso coração, digamos assim. Então você que está interessado em saber mais sobre os nossos produtos e saber mais sobre a gente, o que a gente oferece para vocês em relação a estudo, a challenge, a curso, vá lá no inglesdenecro.com e você pode ver mais sobre as worksheets, por exemplo.
Yeah. If you want to really improve your English, if you want to learn more about the ways you can do that and just connect with us on a deeper level, go to inglesnocru.com. And as always, keep up the good fight.
And lose well.
See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.